Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the General Hospital recap for November 17th through 21st, 2025. I feel like we're getting into a little bit of old school this week.
Yes, I agree.
It feels good.
It did.
Yes. So we have a couple Port Charles pipelines. First, we were kind of talking about it a little bit before we got started. There's like two huge rumors going around, one of which I didn't even know about. But the first is Carolyn Hennessy's apparently a victim of like a false report that she lost her leg. She did not lose her leg. She did not lose her leg.
Right. She was having some type of surgery done, and then they said that they needed to go back in for another one. So where people took that to, oh, she lost a leg, I'm not sure.
Right. Yeah. I have no idea, but follow her on social media because it's kind of fun.
She is very funny.
I enjoy people that can make light and fun of things like this.
Yes. So the other one was, I just saw it today, was Jophiel Love. Her family had put out a statement that said that a lot of the like grab your attention sites had put out a story that she had passed away, and that, thank God, is not true at all. I don't know why someone would make up any type of story about anyone, but especially a child passing away. But I guess there were multiple sites that were reporting on it like it was true, and it is not.
Yeah. So if you happen to see either one of those rumors, Jophiel's alive and Carolyn has both legs.
There you go.
Yay. We have three Port Charles pipelines. So it's a few. The first is from Janet, Faison alternative.
Okay.
I've been listening to the podcast for a few years and thought about writing lots of times. I finally decided I need to share this theory in case I turn out to be right. Woman after my own heart.
She wants her points. I get it.
I think Sidwell is working with or for Victor Cassadine.
Oh.
Here's my thinking. We know Cassadines never die. Not that anyone does anymore.
Right.
A Cassadine connection would explain the purchase of Wyndemere.
True.
However, isn't that also where Faison got lost? Like because remember it was like behind the bookshelf.
Yeah, those catacombs are confusing.
I know. Victor was working with Faison.
Okay.
I never believed Britt had Huntington's. I always thought Victor messed with her results. So I think the meds they're giving her are placebos.
Oh, okay.
And maybe like some of the symptoms she had been psychologically induced. Because remember, she was getting like the handshaking and stuff like that before she died. But maybe it was more psychologically induced.
Or I'm sure she was taking some type of med back then even. Maybe they switched those out with something that would make her have those reactions.
Okay, maybe. Victor has experience with resurrecting people. And whatever is going on wouldn't be Faison's, quote, last project if he were still alive. But if everyone thought he was dead, it would be.
Right.
But I do agree with that. That is true. Everyone does keep saying his last project.
Mm-hmm.
Darn grammar. I love Faison, but I think your brain in a jar should be where we draw the line for really being truly dead. Thanks for the great podcast.
I like
Thank you, Janet.
That's the infinite line there. No.
And I'm just going to say you have one of my favorite names. That was my Grammy's name.
Aw.
So, Janet, you can write in anytime. Anyone can write in anytime they want. But go ahead, Janet. Keep writing. And then we have from Chelsea. Hi, guys. I'm listening to your weekly recap, and I want to clear something up for you guys. You keep saying that Lucas and Michael should be closer because they grew up together, but that didn't happen at all. Okay, good. And this is the thing, because this is where we keep forgetting, were they? Because we keep saying it like they should be because they're close in the same age now, but then we never go back and actually look at when all this happens. Thank you, Chelsea, for remembering to do our homework for us that we keep forgetting to do. Lucas was aged up substantially when he was a teenager with Maxie, Lulu, Brook Lynn, and Georgie. Remember, that's when Maxie had the crush on him and like all that stuff, and that was kind of gross because they're cousins. Lucas was a teenager before Georgie was murdered, and Michael was still the small redheaded child at that time. And guess what? That's not what I was not watching then. So by the time I started watching again, Michael had been aged up. And so that's why I'm getting tripped up on that.
Yep. So it all clicked. I was not watching as faithfully back then because that was 2005, which is what we're coming up to in the recap. And as I was researching all of that, I watched some of the stuff and I was like, oh, yeah, because we talk about how great Tony was whenever Lucas came out to him and why they killed off Tony whenever we didn't want to. But that was happening at the same year that Michael was kidnapped and little
Shot in the
redheaded
head.
kid. So
Yeah. But see, I wasn't watching that. I was in college. I was a single mom. I was working, I was going to school during the week. I was working nights and weekends.
yeah, he wasn't even shot in the head yet. You're rushing that even. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
she's
no,
absolutely
thank you.
right. Thank you. Thank you for reminding us because I was 100% with you. And then as I started doing the research, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Lucas
Because you're
went
going back
from,
to the actual time. I'm just thinking,
right.
no, they've been the same age for so long, and they have, but
They
they
have.
haven't.
Right. They haven't. No, they have not. Mm-hmm.
By the time Michael was an adult, I think Lucas was a doctor.
It's the same thing as we talk about Joss and Emma. Whenever Joss wants to be Emma, but she's not because she was a small child.
Right,
It's that same
right.
type of timeline. So,
Yes. Except for we were obviously watching when those kids were little.
I mean, in a few years, we'll be a little bit older. We might forget all over again. Someone will have to say, in 2025, you literally said, we're like, oh, yeah, thanks.
Okay, so people are really annoyed. Okay, I am not saying that you are saying we are annoyed by this by any means,
Oh,
Sherry. No, Sherry.
right.
But we have a second Lucas and Michael email.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I know this is long. The last couple of weeks, you guys have been talking about Lucas and Michael and wondering why they weren't closer as teenagers. I've been wondering why they're not closer now.
Right. But the idea, I think,
But
was
the idea is that they
would
would have
have
grown up together.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I did some web searching and found some explanations. Again, thank you for doing this for us. I'm on a little bit of research burnout right now after a year of Lucky. So
Yes.
Lucas was born in 1989. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 8 years before Michael. He was later SORAS a couple years, and in 2002, Lucas was integrated into the group of teens, including Maxie, Georgie, Brook Lynn, and Dylan.
Yep.
Dylan was not mentioned at all during Monica's passing.
No.
Not even like a phone call from Dylan sending condolences.
Mm-mm.
Wow. Okay. They were all in high school together. He later moved to Seattle, Washington, and left the show in 2006 when Tony died. That's when I graduated from college and started watching again. Michael was still a little kid at the time. He wasn't SORASed much until after he was shot in 2007 at only 12. So by the time he was aged up, Lucas was already in Washington. Lucas didn't come back to Port Charles until 2014, which at that point, both were already adults. By the way, if you haven't noticed, I really enjoy researching SORAS characters. I think it would make an interesting 411 someday, but not by me. I wouldn't know how to structure it. Structure it however you want to.
Right, exactly.
I don't feel like I feel like when it comes to the SORAS characters, there is not going to be a correct way
No.
to do this because this whole timeline, it's blowing my mind just even trying to comprehend how you would do it. So no pressure. But if you want to do
we're not assigning it to you, but
no. But if you have like a whole family that you might want to do or something, or even if you just have a group of characters that you like, that you want to give and then they were SORAS to this, and this is how they joined this storyline, and then they were changed to this, and then this is how this storyline was affected by, very similar to like the Joss Emma thing. Probably also why we haven't done it yet, because here's the beauty of the 411. It really can be anything you want it to be.
Absolutely.
I'm so thankful for people.
Right. I just love it. And it's so funny because after you listen to not this coming week's, but next week's, the following week's, is that Thanksgiving or that's the week after Thanksgiving?
No, it'll actually be, so this upcoming Thursday, we are releasing Bobby Part 12, which will be 2002. Hold on. What was the second? 2002 to 2004.
Okay, so it'll be the week after that I realize what everyone else just realized as I'm doing the research.
And I'm also kind of reflecting on, they are close in age now, the way that my aunt and I are.
Right.
So I'm like, why don't you have that in your life? But also, there was a period of time where she and I were not exactly friends. We never didn't get along, but I mean, she was 16 when I was 12. Guess how cool I was then?
Right.
Not so much. She did not want to be hanging out. Not that she ever, this is like a whole other thing, guys. Erica has never not wanted to hang out with me. I'm just going to leave it at that. But when we went to go visit, she wasn't like, oh, sweet. Shannon and I are going to go hang out. Couldn't do anything. I was 12.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then I have something that's kind of news-ish, but it's also my reality check. So I'm not going to talk about it yet.
All right.
All right. You have anything else other than children are alive?
No.
Okay. So for Hulu headlines, on Monday, Britt and Emma face off. Lulu confides in Carly. Alexis confers with Felicia. Dante loses his temper. On Tuesday, Jason offers an apology. Dante opens up to Lulu. Sidwell is left fuming. Britt issues an ultimatum. Brennan questions Carly. On Wednesday, the election results are in. Alexis briefs Jason. Emma is outraged. Vaughn summons Jocelyn. Nathan provides an ear to Lulu. On Thursday, Laura makes a shocking discovery. Britt is shaken. Lucas and Marco dine with Ava. Michael introduces Jacinda to Sonny. Chase furthers his investigation. And then on Friday, Chase has news for Alexis. Marco makes a big decision. Gio confides in Sonny. And Jason grills Britt. Where are we going?
Okay, so I know that Olivia is busy dealing with Ned, but I really need her to sit Dante down and rehash his childhood, his teenage years, because we've already heard, and we've talked about this the last time he went off on Gio. She sent him away to camp because she couldn't control him. While he was away at camp, he got someone pregnant. You are not this perfect child. Why are you being so awful whenever you should be trying to build a relationship with Gio? It does not take a rocket scientist to figure out that Gio never said to those kids, oh, go break into that office by yourselves when we're not even on campus anywhere close to help you. Like, if they would have walked in there and found a million caged animals, they couldn't have even handled it on their own at that point. So Gio obviously didn't tell them to go do that without any type of backup. And I'm just so tired of Dante screaming at him and making him feel like crap whenever he feels bad enough as it is.
Yeah, I was really disappointed in Dante this week. And it didn't occur to me about his childhood thing until you started talking about it. Maybe what he did was so bad that he is worried that his bad genes got passed along. And so he's seeing this barely skimming the surface of even slightly being, I mean, Dio didn't do anything, but his perception is he's going down a wrong path, but I absolutely agree. Like, it was so... And the fact that he came around the corner after listening to Brook Lynn and Dante and said they were there because of me. And then he explained, and then he's like, oh, you're just trying to impress a girl.
It was just so ridiculous. And I could go with your theory if these boys were younger and he was thinking, oh no, they're already getting in trouble.
He were Rocco. If he were the age that
I feel like it would have to be even younger. I feel like they would have to be elementary, junior high aged kids doing, I don't know, getting expelled, doing something for him to say, oh no, did my bad genes get transferred down to them or something. They are both at the age now that without disclosing what he did, he could say to them separately or together, listen, I made some bad choices when I was young, and that's like not even counting getting Brook Lynn pregnant because I didn't even know that happened. So I'm just really concerned about you guys. You could make a decision now that honestly affects the rest of your life. And, use the situation that they're in now as an example. The fact that Rocco could end up with a record, it's not just going to be some juvenile thing that they slide under the rug or whatever. He could word it anyway. I don't know. But it's ridiculous that he's going off on Gio like that. And not that it was acceptable whenever he didn't know that he was his son, but especially now that he knows that he's his son, you're just being ridiculous.
And he knows how much he cares about. Now we're going to start throwing in he's your brother. And when you're doing that, you're doing that to hurt him.
Right.
You are bringing in who he blood wise is to you, even though I think that Gio and Rocco have been doing a good job of forming a brotherly bond. I don't think that that's my brother,
Right. And I don't think that one feels like the other one is more their brother than the other one does. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Rocco's walking around, let me impress my brother. And Gio's like, oh, I don't even want to know that kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're
Yep.
both like, again, old enough to say, okay, we didn't grow up together. Our dad didn't know that we were brothers because he didn't know Gio existed. And so we're going to find some common ground appropriate for the fact that we didn't grow up together and that there's a slight age difference between the two of us. Okay.
Yeah. And then for Lulu actually did a decent job at that this week too.
Yes. Yes. I was actually impressed with her this week because she talked to Dante openly and honestly about him coming down too hard on Gio. And then she was honest about getting Charlotte involved and that she didn't want to be sacrificing one kid for another and that she needed to make sure that this was in everyone's like best interest. It wasn't going to hurt Charlotte for coming forward. So she had her big girl panties on this week. She did a good job.
She did. I don't know. I liked this week. I thought I'm annoyed with Dante.
Right.
But then Gio also tells Sonny, and I think Sonny is going to have a little come to Jesus talk with Dante, though. He's going to be like, no.
I really hope so. Because Sonny also has been around Gio enough now that he knows his heart, too.
Mm-hmm. But I love that Michael called Gio to go to the hospital, and he saw Brook Lynn, and he was like, well, Michael said that I was needed here. And she was like, oh, he might have meant for me. And I love that Brook Lynn didn't cry. She wasn't overwhelming. She was just like, I need you to know Dante speaks for Dante, and that's it. Like, not for me, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
This is not what I believe. And then, well, what was it that she said? They talked about how doing something good can go wrong,
Right.
And it also could have not gone wrong. And he starts to think of it as, oh, this is probably what you thought you were doing when you gave me up. And this is probably what Lois and your grandma thought that they were doing when they helped you. They didn't know that it was going to get this bad. And then he does call her mom.
Yes. Yes. She says you can't know what you don't know at the time.
Yeah.
So that was, I don't know that I was ready for him to call her mom, even though
I don't know either.
Like it was the appropriate mushy gushy feeling, but at the same time, it felt a little bit, not that the way he said it felt forced, but for me in the moment felt forced because I'm not there yet. Like that's not his mom yet to me. But I
feel
loved,
like if he had said that was some great motherly advice.
Yes. Or you would have
Something
made
like
a great mom. Like, I don't know why you doubted yourself. You would have made a great mom or something that gave that, or you're going to make a great mom, like knowing that they're trying for baby adoption, whatever, something along those lines, I would have been okay with it. But him calling her mom, I wasn't ready for, but the rest of the scene I was there for. So I'll take it. And then Michael just kind of like.
Do you have a cat on your back?
I do. I do. My phone needed charge, so I'm laying across my bed with my phone charged in. And this one particular cat thinks that my back is where it belongs. So, and then
he does that a lot to me.
It's the mommy cat that had kittens a few months ago, and so she likes to lay like in between my shoulder blades, and then one kitten likes to lay right on my butt, and the other kitten likes to lay behind my knees. And so Ryan will like ask me to do something, and I'm like, I literally can't. Okay, I cannot get up. I'm sorry. I have 3 cats on me. I cannot move.
That's funny. Sorry. Okay.
So yes, I'm sorry if you see her peeking up every once in a while. That's what's going on.
What were you saying about Michael?
It was sweet. Michael was standing in the background watching their moment. Like, yes, I made a good call, letting him know that he was needed.
Yes.
So I feel bad for Michael this week, though, because darn Chase won't mind his own business. I'm really disappointed in what they're doing with him. I really am. Brook Lynn is at the hospital, upset that her dad just had a heart attack. And instead of being there comforting her, you're off chasing alibis for Willow or for.
Yeah. And especially when she has expressed her concern about his involvement in this case.
Right. And when
It's not like she was saying, listen, there's nothing you can do. I don't need you here. Go ahead and go free Willow.
Yeah.
Free Willie. Free Willow. Cue Michael Jackson.
Oh my God. Oh, wow. What's in that cup of yours there?
Iced tea for my throat that my cough won't go away.
Thought you were trying to kill the germs with alcohol, maybe.
No, unfortunately, they're not germs anymore. They are just annoying. It was such a good movie, though. Sorry. It's such a good song.
Oh, man.
They're making a Michael Jackson biopic. Okay, we're done. And his nephew's playing him, and he actually had to audition.
We talked about the nephew playing him when I came over for pictures because JD mentioned
that's right. That's right. Yep.
Yes.
That's right.
So I actually knew that. So everyone should be impressed.
There we go. Right. Back to GH.
Yes. Yeah, Chase is doing whatever he can to disprove Michael's alibi by disproving that Jacinda was with him. And then he goes...
How gross was it that Ezra's one of her clients, though?
We knew that already, though.
But still, but the way that he was... I forgot about it. I totally forgot.
He was calling her his girlfriend, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, then Chase goes to Alexis and is like, hey, I found all this out because I bought Ezra a drink because he was depressed about not winning the election or maybe not winning the election. I can't remember if the results were out yet at that point. And that he told me that he
had lost because that's when he went to Jacinda.
That's why he was drinking. Okay. And so, yeah, he had gone to Jacinda to ask for her, and Michael stood up to him and said, no, she wasn't going with him and whatever. So I can prove that they were together because he said the last time that the election was rigged, his girlfriend comforted him or whatever. And I'm like, oh, you're just gross. Leave poor Jacinda alone. She's trying to make better choices for herself. And no one wants to be reminded that they were with Ezra. Ew. And so Alexis says to him, do you not realize that these people have people in power? Like, they're connected to not just our local government, our state government, our federal government. You're going to lose your job because you're going against the PCPD and against these important people. And Chase is like, that's okay. I got to do whatever I can to free Willow. And then she even says to him, disproving Michael's alibi does not automatically make him guilty. That's not going to get Willow off. And he's like, that's okay. The number
of times she has to explain this to people who are in law enforcement.
Right.
Really has no qualifications to be a congressman. So that one will just chalk up to he's unqualified.
Right.
But yeah, like Chase needs to know it is not a definitive, if my son didn't do something, then my daughter did. No, that's not what that means. It could have been a third party that came in and stole a cookie.
Right. Yep. I was totally frustrated for Alexis. She's trying to be done. She's on her way out the door. She already had to deal with Willow, who was crying, like, thank you for helping me. She's helping you because people are paying her or because Drew is holding her granddaughter hostage, pretty much. Calm down.
Yeah. And we saw Willow this week. What was she?
That's what she was doing. She wanted to.
Oh, yeah. She wants to be more active in the case. And she was saying about how she went along with Nina's plan because she thought that Nina needed an alibi.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be Willow because we need Chase to have a problem.
Yeah.
So he's going to be wrong.
Yeah. I liked Rick and Alexis's conversation, though, before that, where they're trying to figure out why Portia would be a suspect, like what she could possibly have that would make her want to hurt Drew. And so I just love them going back and forth like, well, okay, let's go back to the original. So Heather was doing bad things because of the cobalt poisoning. And so then we needed to prove that getting it removed and replaced, that her levels dropped and she was safe. One says, yes, everything's great. The other test says, no, everything's still bad. and continues explaining all of it. And then Rick's like, hypothetically, what would you do if your ex had something on you? And without missing a beat, Alexis is like, tie him up in a basement and put a ball gag in his mouth. I was like, yes, thank you. You're so funny. And then they continue, working it out and coming up with, oh, wait a second. If Drew found this out, he's blackmailing. That could definitely be reason to kill him.
Yep. Well, and she even said, she's like, I would kill him.
Yep.
Rick is, I really actually do believe him, because he kind of freaked out on Turner a little bit when at the beginning of the week, he's like, or he was telling Sonny, because Sonny was like, what the heck just happened? He's like, Turner and I had a deal. This is brand new. Like, this should not have happened. This was not what we agreed to. And then Sonny asks why she changed her mind. And I think that Dalton has something against her, or had something against her, because the way that she said it, where she was just like, listen, he then came to me and had all this information, whatever, because I felt like it was something that she really had to do. Like, she didn't really have a choice in doing it. I mean, she did, but she didn't.
Yeah, I don't think he has anything against her now, like the more that it kind of played out this week, because they were saying that the reason that they needed Danny and Charlotte's testimony was because there was property actually destroyed. So I think it did come up the way that she's saying. Originally, I had the basics. They said nothing was broken, nothing was messed up. He just broke in. And so that's why I could offer this deal. Then they came back to me and showed me that, he smashed equipment, he deleted files, he did whatever, and that was dangerous and not okay. So now I can do the more intense sentence. So I think that she was just doing her job, which, sorry, Sonny, that sucks. But yeah, she was just doing her job. But I love that the kids were trying to be good siblings and come forward and get him out of trouble. But Charlotte is just like her dad, has to take it a step further. This is all your fault, you and Valentine, because Charlotte's like, oh, if this could get him in trouble, then we should make it super extra bad so that there's no way that people will think good of him. And she starts twisting the story that Dalton hit Rocco and that he was being violent, and so she was too scared to stand up to him.
Yeah, I liked when she was turning on her little act, though, and Danny was like, your parents don't even know how much trouble you are. And she's like, they have a little bit of a clue.
It's a need-to-know basis or something like that, she said.
Yeah. But Danny and Charlotte went to Nathan, and there was nothing. He's acting like, oh, you're just Charlotte.
Right? I was happy to see that what he was doing made sense. He was purposely taking their statement and then calling the parents so that he could say it was inadmissible. Because when it first started, I'm like, what is he doing? Like, he knows that Danny is related to Rocco, that Britt considers her son, and then that Charlotte that he thought was his daughter, and he's just going to take their statement and turn them in, and all this bad stuff's going to happen to them. So when he turned it around, I was like, whew, okay, I'm glad he's not there.
But I like that, like, everybody is, Rick was like, okay, this is the way that we can get the kids. And then Alexis goes and talks to Jason, but Jason had already talked to Britt and was like, I cannot have Danny saying anything because this is what happened to Michael. And he didn't say exactly what happened to Michael in Pentonville, but he alluded to Michael was permanently hurt in Pentonville. But then when Alexis talked to him and everything, it was, no, seriously, the way that this is going to work out, like, it can only go one way, because there's no way the truth is not going to come out, that nothing really happened.
Right.
And Jason was on board.
Yes.
Which I was kind of surprised at, but he really trusts Alexis. Like, and I think that that's the thing. They don't necessarily like each other, but they absolutely both respect the fact that neither one of them would do anything to put the kids in harm's way.
Right.
Well,
they have that connection.
She doesn't necessarily think that about him most of the time. I think she thinks it now more, but at one point she did not.
Now I think they respect the connection they have because of Sam, and she's just relieved to see that he's not behaving like Drew does and trying to use Danny against her or as a weapon. As far as, you can see him, you can do whatever. Like, Jason's never questioning that. You guys are family, of course. Do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. I did love when Britt confronted Emma about stealing the key fob, And she was so hurt because she's like, obviously, Rocco was just playing me. He's not really interested in me. And Emma's like, no, that's not true. I've had to tell him that you need to make your own decision. And Britt was like, you need to basically, like, you're an adult now. You need to be fighting you need to be having a fighting on your own turf, and don't bring kids into it. Even though they're teenagers, she is now technically an adult. She's in college. Don't bring the teenagers into it. And Emma was like, yeah, I know that should not have happened. I thought that it was a really nice moment between the two of them. And Britt told her that sometimes mistakes you have to live with, which she has learned from experience.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I understand what everyone's saying about not bringing the kids into it, but I also understand where Emma and Gio were thinking, like, we're not asking them to break into the lab. We're not asking them to do the illegal stuff. Stealing a key from your mom, although it's not right, it wouldn't be up there with breaking into a lab. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that is how Britt is viewing Rocco, and Rocco was kind of on that same term of like, okay, we're just going to borrow it, get in, and then we'll give it back. Like, I don't think they were planning on keeping it or doing anything horrible with it. They just wanted to be able to get the proof. They're just trying to protect the poor animals, man.
I know.
So, I did love Emma at the bar. So we see Joss and Vaughn, and then we see Dalton come in, and Joss gets up and starts what killed me was she wasn't even being really that flirty with him. She was just being like typical to a man that is such a narcissist, where she's like, oh, I would never think you were doing anything wrong. Oh, I would never think that you were testing on something if it wasn't absolutely necessary. Oh, of course you were smart enough to have a lab somewhere else. Like, it wasn't a sexual thing. It was just telling him how wonderful he was. And that boosted his ego enough that he's just blabbing about how he has an extra lab far away where no one can hear anything. And that he used to have a lab back in California, but it got destroyed. And he's just going on and on, feeding her all this information. And then in comes Emma and Gio, and they see her, and Gio thinks like she must be caught and not want to be, and goes up and is like, hey, come have a drink with us, let's catch up, come on. And so she has already proposed to Dalton that they could get out of there, but then she goes
he has
over
a new couch that she wants. Oh,
right, he's like,
he was like, I have a couch that I need to try out or something in my office. Ew.
Yeah, he was definitely taking it there, but she was not promising anything.
Oh, no.
So she goes and talks to them and is like, listen, I don't need saving. Like, everything's fine. And then he comes over and starts getting loud with them. And I loved Emma just being like, no, I was part of this. I initiated everything because I know you're testing on animals. And I'm the one who had everything to do with California. And the look on his face, like, he had no idea. It just shows how stupid he really was.
Well, he didn't know who she was, though, when she was in California.
I mean, she didn't change her name. She was enrolled as a regular college student.
Yeah, but I think it was a bigger school.
I'm sure that it was, but I still feel like if he wanted to pay attention, he could have. He just didn't think it was necessary. He didn't think whoever it was would have followed him.
Right.
So, it was great, though.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do see that Vaughn and Joss are still hanging out, even though they were told not to by Brennan.
Oh, well, Emma asked Joss, was the WSB watching Dalton this whole time?
Yeah. And then she feels bad. That was a nice moment too. Yep. Then she feels bad because she's like, oh, I did this for nothing, because if the FBI because the WSB was already watching him, then they knew he was doing something wrong, so I didn't need to interfere. And then Joss reassured her and was like, no, actually, he just told me that he does have another lab where he is testing on animals. So you were 100% right to be concerned. And that's not what the WSB is looking into. So
right,
you were right on that account.
But she was almost busted.
Yeah.
That would not have been good.
It would not.
She's like, yeah, but he lied to me too.
I had no idea.
And then Dalton went to Wyndemere as Britt was there talking to Sidwell about, like we talked about last week, getting everyone to back off of Rocco. This has nothing to do with him. And then Pascal comes in. Oh, no, sorry. Dalton came in first, and she's complaining about how he is such a liability, how he's just ruined their whole now they're going to draw attention to the lab and, they're going to have to rethink things and how they're going to hide stuff and blah, 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 blah. And she's talking about how he's a liability and she could be doing his job like he's unloyal, how he's willing to cut either one of them out. And we just see Sidwell walking around and he just goes over and he just turns around and he's like, I agree. Boom.
Yep.
I wish that I had been recording myself because I did not see that coming.
Yeah, that was
that.
I felt bad for Britt in that moment because she was just like, "What are you doing?" And he was like, "I mean, you said he was a liability. We should cut him out." And she was like, "That's not what I meant."
Yeah. Well, Sidwell was kind of cracking me up this week because it was earlier that Marco had been telling Sidwell, oh, that's where it started. Was Marco was telling Sidwell about how things were worse and about what a problem Dalton was creating. And he said that he told Sidwell that he needs to contact the guy that he's working for. And then Britt came to visit. And then they talked about, because he was like, I'm the one who's keeping you alive. He's like, you wouldn't have your medication without me. And you think Jason's going to save you. But he's like having these so animated conversations.
It was like Jason was there.
Flailing his arms around,
Right.
like, do you think Jason's going to save you? It's like he had a little bit more of a personality this week, and I kind of liked it.
He did.
But he was like, Jason can't save you, and do you really think he's going to sit by your bed while you fade away? And then that's when Dalton came in and all that stuff happened.
Yep.
And so then Pascal came in and Sidwell's like, oh yeah, he's my butler. And Britt is like, he strapped a bomb to my ankle. What are you doing having him here? And Sidwell says, well, you need to be reminded, like, this is what happens when you prove to be more trouble than you're worth.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so real quick, we kind of alluded to it, but Laura won the election.
She did win. She won, and she didn't think she was going to because Dalton made a point of showing up at the poll and going off on her about how she was using her power to make sure that her grandson wasn't punished. And she flipped out and was like, absolutely not making sure that my grandson's not punished, making sure that he's not unfairly punished because you fabricated all this information. And I know that because the night that I saw you, like we discussed last week, the night that I saw you, you didn't say all this, so you're a liar. And he keeps pushing her buttons, and she slapped him in front of everybody, and they had their cameras out like everyone does nowadays. And
yeah, they were live streaming that.
It went everywhere. And so she was telling, all of her people, she had a conversation with Jordan. She was telling Jordan and anyone else, I'm not going to win because they just saw what happened. And Jordan was like, you don't know what's going to happen. It's okay. And then Sonny came to her. Was it Sonny that came and was like, have you read their comments? Yeah, it was Sonny. Sonny said, have you read the comments? People are saying that they see that you stand up for your family and that you're not going to take anyone's crap. And so your ratings are higher than they were.
Yeah, and then Drew came first, and then that's when they found out that she won.
Yes.
And I couldn't figure out Jordan's look at Drew when she was hugging Laura, and she looked at Drew and she said, yep, 4 more years, because we know that she's kind of working with the Drew and Sidwell thing with Laura against them. But like the look that she gave him was like, can you seriously believe this?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I know she says that she's loyal to Laura, and she even said that to him whenever he walked in and was like, I'm shocked to find you here. And she would say, we can be on different sides, but still be friends. Like, we don't have to agree on everything. And so, I don't know. Drew is just being such a jerk, too. So I don't know how you really even pretend to still be on his side.
Yeah, I don't know. But then Ezra came in and was like, I'm not going down without a fight. This was rigged, all this stuff. And then that's when he goes down to the Metro Court and sees, Wiley had drawn. So Jacinda was there with Michael.
Mm-hmm.
And they were actually talking about their relationship because Wiley drew her a picture of a spider.
Yes.
And she was like, sometimes it's starting to feel like this fake relationship isn't so fake.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when Ezra walked up. But, Michael was making sure that she liked her job and all that. So I like them. And then later we saw Jacinda at Charlie's, and Kristina and Molly had been there for a drink.
Yes.
And Kristina sees Jacinda walk in. She's like, oh, there's Jacinda. I'm going to go say hi. Because Cody had come in the meantime. And then Molly and Cody talked, and Then they danced because now she's researching country music.
Mm-hmm. They're so cute.
They are. And I love that Kristina was saying, those two are idiots over each other and they can't even tell or something like that. It was, but we also found out that Charlie's will not be reopening. There was too much structural damage.
I know. That made me sad.
Yeah.
Now she has to figure out something else.
I think that we left out, sorry.
Go ahead.
We left out how much Sonny is supporting Rick also.
Yes. He really is giving him another chance. So that's good.
Yep.
I was going to say at the Metro Court, whenever Michael was with Jacinda, that was whenever Ava was having dinner with Marco.
Yes.
And they were talking about Lucas, and she threatened him. She was like, "You better never hurt him." And then Lucas comes in and they just have a wonderful dinner, and she ends up paying for them. And they're like, "You don't have to do that." And she's like, "I just want to be supportive, but we're still going to have our movie nights, right? And we're still going to do this and all of that stuff." So they were really sweet. But then at the same time, Sonny and Carly were talking after Carly had just been upstairs, with Brennan. But she's talking to Sonny, and Sonny's not convinced that Michael didn't shoot Drew. And she keeps saying to him, like, "What do you mean? You have to believe our son." And he's like, "Michael can be angry and upset whenever things don't go his way. And I'm not sure exactly what did or didn't happen." So that was interesting. Yeah. Like, again, I don't think it's Michael. I don't want it to be Michael, but I found it interesting that Sonny is the first one to be like, "Can we be a little realistic here? It could be him." Like, he could have absolutely had something to do with it. While Carly is still like, "No, never." Mm-mm.
Yeah. And so she brought Brennan a bottle of wine, and they had I honestly forget what they talked about.
They were talking about the distance that had been between them. And
oh, yeah, that's right.
She made up I guess it wasn't a lie, but it was a great lie of her saying that when she found out about Vaughn, she just needed to process it and she wasn't sure how to go about things. But, she just couldn't stay away from him. And he said that he didn't know how he was going to break the silence. And so she asked him, "Well, what was he planning?" And he was like, "I don't know, because you showed up at my door. So that's wonderful." And then he got all like kissy on her. And you could just tell from her body language that she was not into it, but she was going along with it to keep playing that character. And then luckily he got called away to work. And she was like, "Oh, okay, guess I'll see you later. Bye."
Yeah. Well, and then on the elevator ride down, she was so excited to see Lucas in the elevator. And he's holding his stance. Yeah. He's like, "If you cannot be supportive of my relationship with Marco, there's a chance I might have to cut you out."
Right. I just don't know how they're going to hide all of this stuff from Lucas. I mean, they just shot a guy in the living room.
I mean,
I know they have a good cleanup staff, but still, I would think that Lucas would hear some stuff being talked about. And Marco doesn't know anything right now that we know for sure, but I don't see how he's not going to end up knowing about this. Because then the next thing that happens is we see Laura. I loved that we finally got to see Laura calling Kevin. We keep talking about, do they not know that cell phones work and FaceTime and all that stuff? And so she's leaving Kevin a message saying how much she misses him, and she just wanted to tell him that she had won and to call her back whenever he can, but she loves him and she can't wait to see him whenever he comes home and stuff. And then she gets a flat tire and she pulls over. And that was where I wish that someone would have been recording me, because I was not ready for it.
Nope.
And she gets out of her car.
I thought she was going to be attacked. Like, that's straight up what I thought was going to happen.
Yes, that is exactly what I thought. So then she pops open the trunk to look for her tire and her jack. And she's like, "What is all this crap in here?" And then she pulls back the blanket and there is Dalton's dead body. And she just screams and backs away and screams. And I screamed with her. And then later it goes back to her and she reaches in to check his pulse, and I legitimately screamed at my TV, "Why are you touching him? He is 100% dead. You can tell that. Stop transferring your DNA, and ew." And then
and his fingerprints, and he's blue.
Right.
That is not just the moonlight.
so obviously dead. He was so
Yeah.
obviously dead. And then she ended up getting some blood on her arm and she had to freak out and figure out how to clean it up. And so, ew. And then she went through her contact list and she made the smart decisions first. Like she was going to call Kevin and then she remembered he's not in town. She tried Alexis and it went to voicemail. And then she ended up calling Sonny and freaking out, saying that she needed help. And she got in her car and waited. And then Nathan comes up out of nowhere and she screams whenever she saw Nathan. And he's like, I can change your tire. That's no big deal. Here, just pop your trunk and I'll get it done for you in just a jiffy. And luckily at that moment, Sonny pulls up and is like, that's okay. I got it. She called me. I said I'd come and help. It's fine. And then Nathan still tries to stay around and help. And then he gets a phone call that he's needed elsewhere. So he leaves and Sonny goes ahead and asks what's going on and takes a look in the trunk. I don't know why he needed to look in the trunk too. Like if I called you and told you there's a dead body in my trunk, would you need to come check it out or would you just trust there was a dead body?
He didn't know that he was in there.
He didn't
because he didn't know that she didn't say what was wrong. She said, I have a problem. And then he showed up.
But he asked her again.
She didn't get a chance. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. I thought you meant whenever Nathan was still there. I'm like, he had no idea. Because I'm just like, no, don't do it. Don't do it.
No, he had no idea. But before he opened the trunk, he knew what was in there.
Yeah.
She had already told him. And so he opens it up to check on it. And no, if you tell me there's a dead body, I believe you. I don't need to see it. Thank you. No.
Yeah.
Ugh. It was so gross.
I am just so happy. Oh, and then he calls Jason to come clean it up. And Jason had been with Britt because Britt was losing it over, being 3 feet away from someone as they were shot.
Yep.
Totally fair. And Jason came, but I am so happy we are giving Laura a storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good storyline. She's going to go to trial.
Yeah, it's going to be
really good. It has the opportunity to be really good.
Right. As long as they take it the right direction. If they end up throwing her in another catatonic state or something, I'm going to be so angry.
No.
So, Jason and Britt, I felt bad for Britt. I did, because she was trying to open up to him and she said, I just need proof that you're going to be here. And earlier in the week, whenever she was asking him for help about Rocco, she said to him, I just need you to do one thing. And he replied back and was like, but I can't do that. I heard that. Is that Meatloaf, that song? I'd do anything for love, but I won't do that. I was like, that's all that was playing in my head. It's no, sorry. He can't do that. And so then again, she ends up saying to him, like, this is what I need from you. Can you do this? And before he even gets to answer, Sonny calls and she opens up the door and is like, nope, I know my answer. You can leave, whatever.
Yeah.
So poor Britt.
It is really sad.
I'm ready to see Jason with somebody. So it makes me sad because I think they would be good together. Like they were being good together before.
I agree.
So, man, did we lose anything? Oh, Trina. Trina wanted to turn themselves in. And yeah. This isn't even worth
she
talking
cried to
about.
Kai about how she ruined her parents' marriage. And then she went off on Jordan about going after a married man, even though, your married mom had an affair with your dad when she was married.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you're here.
Right.
And then, Portia had a doctor's appointment and she had the ultrasound picture. And she's acting like it's ridiculous that she's being considered an older pregnancy when over 35. Right? Isn't it 30? It's like early 30s is an older pregnancy.
Yep.
You're 50.
Yep.
No kidding.
Yep. Tell us how you really feel about this pregnancy, Shannon.
Come on. She's not in college. She's not,
Yeah.
If she were 40, I feel like she could be saying, can you seriously believe that they think this is an older pregnancy? Like something like that. If she was 35, you'd be like, really? This is considered an older pregnancy?
At 35, it stings. Like I remember I was 32 when I had Madeline, and somebody said something about like joking, "Oh, you're getting close to geriatric pregnancy," and I was like, "Shut up! Like, I'm 32. Don't say that." So
Listen, when we start saying you're over the hill, that's when you start getting gravestones and stuff on your birthday cards. So yes, if you are having a baby after that, we need to not be surprised or considered older.
right, exactly. No one's telling you that you can't do it. No one's telling you that you're wrong. Just people are gonna be like, "Oh, maybe run a couple extra tests. Make sure you're not forgetting those prenatals."
Right.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh, and then she let him take the sonogram, and I was so hoping that he was going to read the dates and have it and have him actually figure out math.
But the math should be him.
But I think that maybe he'll show Stella, and Stella will look at it and say, Curtis, when did you guys separate?
But the math should still work.
Listen, the math according to real life, yes. Soap math says no.
How come Michael and Lucas aren't friends again? Oh yeah, soap math.
Soap math. Yeah, we're gonna stop calling it SORAS. We're just gonna start calling it soap math. But seriously, this would not even be a storyline if it wasn't a whose baby is it? So
I know. It just frustrates
me. Do they still
put?
Wait a second. Do they still put dates and stuff like that on it? Do they still put expected age of the baby on it?
I think so.
Back in my day, they had how many weeks you were, right?
Yeah, how many weeks? Because it was by the measurements. You're
it would say
X amount of weeks, X amount of days.
Bones are, and here's how. Yeah,
right. So
the circumference of the head.
Yeah,
now you guys got all that 3D stuff. Who knows?
Yeah,
the baby's come out talking.
Right. I'm not sure what exactly. It's been a while since I had my last baby, and I don't have any grand ones yet, so I'm not sure.
Alrighty. Yeah, I think that's it.
I think so. It was a good week. I agree with you. We were back to that 90s feel. On Thursday, when it ended with Laura looking in the trunk, I was bummed that it was over because I was like,
Me too.
It's fun. I need to see what happens next.
Yep. Well, I watched that this morning, so I didn't even watch it last night. I watched it this morning, and then, we'll get into reality check.
Reality check.
We went and saw Wicked today because it came out today. And so, I watched it in the morning, and then I was like, oh, now I have to go see Wicked. I'm like, okay, but if I time this all out right, and we went and saw Wicked, and then we went to Chili's, and Chili's has 2 margaritas that are Wicked themed.
This looked so cute.
They are, and they're yummy.
Okay.
Erica and I each had one of each.
Okay.
And you get the swizzle stick with it too. So, and my daughter hijacked my wand.
Oh, you should have known that was happening. You should have asked for an extra wand.
Yeah. Then I was like, all right, fine. But, so we went to see Wicked, and the movie theater that we go to has the reclining seats and everything. And last year when we went to see the first one, Erica and I were like, man, we should have brought blankets. And then we saw people walking in with them, and we're like, okay, next time we have a long movie, we're going to bring blankets. So then we took the rest of the family to see it again. So we brought blankets that time. This time we brought blankets, and Duncan had a little tin that it was actually a really good deal. It was a $10 tin, but you got 10 munchkins in it. So depending on how you look at it,
okay.
I mean, a $10 tin, you would buy that tin empty.
Right.
So you also got 10 munchkins.
Okay.
But my daughter saw on TikTok, someone was like, bring your Duncan tin as a snack tray.
Good idea.
So we still had our popcorn we still had our popcorn buckets from last year and our icy cups. They did not have icy cups this year though. So we were kind of bummed because we didn't get one for my daughter. But
did you try the glitter on your popcorn?
No. They didn't offer us glitter on our popcorn.
Oh, I don't know if it's only certain theaters, but I was seeing that people had pink or green glitter popcorn flavoring, but it was supposed to be glittery that flavored. I don't know.
Do you remember back in the 90s when we had the color pop and it was a surprise which color?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
That was very, very, very messy.
And it wasn't good popcorn.
It was not good. It it was not good.
No.
It was fun to try to figure out what color you were getting, but it was weird.
Yeah.
No, but the movie theater we went to did have different flavored ices for the movie.
Oh, fun.
And so I'm a diehard, just a basic wild cherry, but I went ahead and got the pink bubble with strawberry lemonade. So that was good. And then the other one was emerald something, and it tasted like a sweet tart, but that's the one that Erica got.
Oh, okay.
My daughter got her Dr. Pepper. Or no, sorry, they didn't have Dr. Pepper. She got her wild cherry Pepsi.
Oh, okay.
That's her backup whenever they don't have Dr. Pepper.
See, I do not like cherry. So, go ahead.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, like...
So am I sharing my suggestion for the...
Just, I've seen a lot of people on like TikTok and whatever. They're like, oh, we make our own Dr. Pepper or like the soda stream thingies.
Yeah, there's cherry in it.
Always a cherry base. Like that's the base of Dr. Pepper. But I do not identify with the cherry flavor in Dr. Pepper. And so if I have to get something else, it is not cherry. So.
But you know what's funny is because I also have seen some where they use root beer and I don't like root beer.
Oh, okay.
But I do like Dr. Pepper. So it's like, okay, what did that doctor do? Actually, I shared that story with you though, right?
It's how you're tasting those 23 flavors.
Yeah. But I shared with you the story of how Dr. Pepper came to be named.
No.
I'll have to send it to you.
Okay.
It's a pretty long story, but it's one of the best spiteful things ever.
Oh, I'll love it then. Thanks.
It's completely petty. But in Wicked is our little Scarlet Spears, Donna, as young Glinda. And I'm not going to give anything away, though, because, I mean, it just came out today. So, but she does a good job. She's in it for just a few minutes, but
she's so cute. I love seeing the interviews of her and just how much she seems to adore all of her castmates. She's so cute.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing that was not cracking me up, but she's not in any scenes with them.
Oh.
So typically... Like, and we've met like the GH cast and they're like, yeah, I've never had a scene with them, so I don't even know them.
Yeah.
And so like, I kind of have that in my mind. And especially when it comes to kids.
Right.
Because she's in a flashback. They're in when they're talking about Glinda growing up. Or at the time, Galinda growing up. Yeah. Like they're not in, that's not giving anything away. I don't think that's giving anything away.
No, that's not giving anything away. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that, she would have to be playing them when they were kids, which would be a flashback. So,
right. Like there's one scene that kind of, but at the same time, you're like, no, that's not really there.
Okay.
But whatever. But no, it was cute. She was cute. So,
yay.
Yeah. But I like to hear that like everyone went and saw them though, because I mean, that's a big deal, you know, and I mean, how heartbreaking would it be to be in that big of a movie and be like, yeah, I never met any of them. Ariana never even came and saw me.
Right.
You know, meanwhile, I mean, Ariana of all of them probably because she met Kristin Chenoweth when she was like 12 backstage at Wicked and was like, I'm going to do this when I grow up.
Right.
And she did.
She did.
And now she's friends with Kristin Chenoweth.
Yeah.
Oh, I love seeing people's dreams come true. Anyway, I'm a softie, but that's really the only thing I had going on this week. I was just still recovering from being sick. It's kind of kicked me in the butt a little bit. Like I haven't gotten back on my regular sleep schedule yet, and it's pretty annoying.
Yeah, that cough's hard to get rid of, so I hope that you start to feel better soon.
Me too.
Yeah, I didn't do anything really exciting this week either. I have funny stories just because my men are funny. Tuesday, I had to pick up Madeline from her tumbling class. Her dad had taken her because she had gone with him. Her grandma was getting baptized. So after that, she was getting dropped off for her tumbling class. So I just had to pick her up. Well, I remembered that I had meant to go to one of our local grocery stores because they had Dr. Pepper on sale. And that is my drink of choice. And the sale was ending. So I said to Ryan, like, I'm not going to have time because I have to get Madeline, whatever. I'm bummed out. I can't believe I forgot, just being mad at myself. So he was very kind and was like, I will go to the store and I will get you your Dr. Pepper. You go get Madeline. No big deal. So he calls me from the store and he's like, they don't have any more Dr. Pepper. And I said, well, can you ask them if they have any in back? And if they don't, can you ask them for a rain check? Because that's a really good deal. And he had no idea that they still did rain checks for anything. And he got like kind of snippy with me and was like, I don't know that they're going to do that. And I was like, okay. And I totally got snippy with him back and was like, fine, whatever. Like you drove all the way there. You're not going to ask for a rain check. That was the whole point, was to get the good deal, but whatever. And he's like, are you just messing with me and trying to make me look stupid? And I was like, no, I want you to go ask for a rain check to get the good deal. So I hung up with him, totally annoyed, picked up Madeline, got home or whatever. I come home. He was like a 5-year-old with this piece of paper. I got my first rain check. You weren't messing with me. And I was like, I know I wasn't messing with you.
I didn't know they still did that either, though.
Oh my gosh. Okay, it's not every store, and just like I have to clarify to my kids, if it's something like we're coming up on Black Friday, do not be telling people
no,
I
they
said
don't.
you're getting rain checks, because you're not. But yes, most of the like CVS, Walgreens, those kinds of places will still give you a rain check for normal sales, and your local grocery stores, again, most of them, it's whatever they decide, but most of them will too. So, and it was like the old school, just piece of paper. And whenever we went to do it today, because they got their truck in today, whenever we went to do it, it was like some 17-year-old boy. And he's like, I've never did a rain check before. I have to call a manager over. And we were like, that's fine. So, but it was just so funny because Ryan thought I was messing with him and I wasn't. And
I would have too, though, because I thought that because I used to do couponing, and now before it became like a big thing, and then those big things ruined it for everybody. So I thought that rain checks kind of went the wayside like that because people were using couponing and then getting the rain check, and then
no, I'm sure that has contributed to some stores not doing it, but I don't do it for many things, just because most stuff it's like whatever, it'll be on sale again tomorrow or whatever. But everyone knows that I'm insane for my Dr. Pepper, and prices of all groceries are getting outrageous. So yeah, I wanted to save my $12 on my Dr. Pepper and get it at the sale price.
I don't blame you.
So he got the rain check. And then the same night, we've talked about it on here before that I enjoy going to the casino. Well, my son Matt does not do any type of gambling where he could actually lose his own money. He is ridiculously smart with money. And so he texts me out of the blue and is like, if you're on a slot machine, do you have to hit cash out, or does the money just automatically like load onto your card? And I replied back to him and I'm like, do you mean online? Like if you just quit a game and stop, what happens? And he's like, no, in real life. And I'm like, yeah, in real life, you absolutely have to hit the cash out button. It doesn't just go on your player card. And he replied back a few minutes later and was like, LOL, we went back to the machine and cashed out. So apparently they had parked, him and his girlfriend had parked at the local casino for a show that was going on downtown. And so they had some promotional credits that they could play. So they played those and they won like $100 total between the two of them. But when they went to leave the machine, they just assumed that it loaded onto your player's card and they walked away from the machine. So luckily they got back to it before anyone else hit cash out or started playing their money. But that day I was just like, seriously, people say nurture versus nature here. I'm thinking that you guys, no denying you're sharing the same genes here today.
That's
so
funny.
But yeah, other than my men making me laugh, I did nothing this week other than the normal. So I'm boring.
We got a lot of stuff coming up, holidays, and see now we are coming upon the first holiday, Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Except for Black Friday sales already started.
Other ones.
No, because Black Friday sales started 2 weeks ago.
Which is ridiculous.
Hey,
It's not Black Friday.
I don't have my tree up yet or anything like that. There are so many people that I know that have the tree up and the decorations out and they are ready to go. So I wasn't pushing for it. I was simply observing.
Put our tree up on Friday.
That'll probably be when ours won't get up until probably Sunday because Madeline will be at her dad's for a few days because she'll get to do Thanksgiving and then birthday stuff because her birthday will be on Monday right after Thanksgiving. So,
yep.
Anyway, I was only observing
that
later. Yeah, I'm not ready to go there. I'll be crying that day. But yeah, I was only observing a few weeks ago that woman was buying stuff off the angel tree. So she was indeed holiday shopping.
Now, like angel tree and crafting is totally different because you have to prepare for that. That way the stuff gets to the people in time for the holidays.
Okay. You do whatever timeline works for you.
No. But still, no. Thanksgiving first. Give me turkey and then we can shop.
I don't really like turkey, so I'd prefer the shopping.
All right.
That's another podcast.
We're not starting that one. We're not starting a how do you feel about turkey? There probably is one, to be true.
Oh, probably.
All right. So join us on Thursday. Have a happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Yes.
And when you don't feel like listening to whatever family you're around, listen to the show. We'll be talking about Bobby from 2002 to 2004.
Perfect. Have a good week.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at pier54podcast@gmail.com.